You know, for a lot of people, the words church and sex feel like they're on opposite ends of the universe. One is all about solemn rules, the other about personal freedom. But what if the traditional Christian perspective is actually way more nuanced and, honestly, more positive than we think? Okay, let's get into it.
And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? Is sexuality something to be afraid of? A source of temptation that we should just lock away? Or is it something fundamentally good, a gift, straight from God? The answer might actually surprise you.
So, where does this whole conversation even begin in Catholic teaching? Well, you might expect it to start with a big list of don'ts, but that's not it at all. The real starting point is a powerful, resounding yes to the goodness of it all. What's so amazing about this is just how simple it is. The entire framework is built on this core idea. Our bodies and our sexuality are not some embarrassing design flaw. They're holy, they're sacred, they are a deeply meaningful part of who God created us to be. And this quote from St. Josemaría Escrivá, wow, it just nails it. I mean, listen to those words. Divine gift, cleanly ordered. That's not the language of fear, right? That is the language of purpose, of dignity. It sees our sexuality as a real participation in God's own creative power. The Catechism goes even deeper. It explains that sexuality isn't just some biological impulse. No, it touches everything about us. Our body, our soul, our ability to connect with people. It's woven right into the fabric of who we are. It's our built-in capacity for love, for communion, and for creating new life. Okay, so if sexuality is this incredibly powerful and sacred gift, how in the world are we supposed to handle it? Well, that brings us to a virtue that, let's be honest, is probably one of the most misunderstood of all time: chastity. Come on, when you hear the word chastity, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's repression, right? A big, boring no. But is that the real picture? According to the Church's wisdom, not even close. This definition right here is absolutely crucial. See, chastity isn't about crushing your sexuality. It's about integrating it. It's the virtue that helps our body and soul get on the same page so we can be whole, unified people instead of being yanked around by our impulses. And here's the thing, this call to become a whole, integrated person, it's for everybody. It's not just for priests and nuns. It's for single people, for people who are dating, and for married people. It just, well, it looks a little different depending on where you are in life. So here's how that plays out. If you're not married, living chastely means continence, which means abstaining from sexual acts. But for married couples, it's totally different. Chastity for them is lived inside their sexual relationship by being faithful and honoring the deep, full meaning of what they're doing. It's a virtue for every walk of life. I absolutely love how St. Josemaría flips the script here. He just demolishes the idea that chastity is supposed to be this miserable burden. Instead, he says it's a victory. It's a source of freedom and strength, a triumphal crown you win through self-mastery. All of this naturally leads us to marriage. The Church presents marriage as the one specific place where the gift of sexuality can be fully expressed and find its total meaning. It's so much more than just a social contract. I mean, listen to this. St. Paul takes marriage and elevates it to an incredible level. He says it's a living symbol, a real-life icon of the love between Christ and his people, the Church. That means the love between a husband and a wife is meant to make a divine reality visible, right here on earth. So within this sacred bond, marital love has a dual purpose that the Church says you can never ever pull apart. First, it's unitive. It bonds the couple together in a total gift of self. And second, it's procreative. It's open to the incredible gift of new life. Both are seen as absolutely essential. So what does all this boil down to? It means that for Christians, marriage isn't just about finding personal happiness. It's a vocation. It's a divine calling from God to help each other and your kids get to heaven. It's a path to becoming saints together. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds really beautiful, maybe even a little idealistic. But the thing is, these teachings are also deeply realistic. They absolutely acknowledge that trying to live this out is a struggle, especially today. And it's a fair question, right? When we're swimming in a culture that's constantly sending us the opposite message, how can anyone possibly live a life of purity? Well, believe me, the saints were not naive about this challenge at all. This analogy is just so perfect. Think about it. A tied-up dog can make a ton of noise. It can sound really threatening. but it only has power if you get close to it. The strategy isn't to pretend the dog isn't there, it's just don't walk up and pet it. Keep a safe distance. So the spiritual masters give us a really practical game plan. First, humility. You gotta admit you can't do this alone. You need God's help. Second, prudence. Be smart. Don't go walking into situations you know are gonna be trouble. Third, flee. Don't stand around and have a debate with temptation, just turn and run. And finally, prayer and the sacraments. You have to fuel up on grace. So after talking about virtues, struggles, and the meaning of it all, what's the one single ultimate principle that ties everything together? What is the one thing we were all made for? And there it is. This is the bottom line. It all comes back to love. Chastity, purity, marriage, they aren't the end goal in themselves. They're all in service of authentic love. They're the framework that protects and frees us to live out our most fundamental calling, which is to love God and to love each other. So that leaves us with this final question. In our culture, a culture that so often tries to separate sex from commitment, our bodies from our souls, and our humanity from anything divine, does this ancient, integrated vision have something to offer us? Is it just a burdensome relic from the past, or is it a challenging but beautiful path to a much more profound love? That's definitely something to think about.